It's big dog season, and you can't stay still because you want it. Talk that talk, George. You still scraping your plate because you're hungry. Talk that talk.
I remember what it was like when I saw people illegally dumping trash over here, right? And now you have this, a 5-star hotel sit next to it and a condominium building next to that.
Born and raised in Atlanta, historian and filmmaker King Williams has watched the city transform with big changes in the old Fourth Ward.
It was mostly known as a place that you just locked your doors as you drove by. Boulevard in particular was known as the Negro Street in town, so there was a lack of development for decades as a result of white flight.
From the Beltline to luxury apartments and trendy shops, today the neighborhood is booming. But King says that growth pushes out longtime residents.
And I saw the people who were kicked out of their homes. I saw a lot of businesses that just simply shut down, and people who had really bad run-ins with just the process of change.
A new 50-year study on gentrification highlights Atlanta and Old Fourth Ward in particular as the epicenter for change. This once majority black community and birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is now majority white.
I do know in 2000, the average income for that area was around 30,000. And then they also had a majority black population. And then in the 2020, the average income or median income went up to about 220,000.
Economist Joseph Dean, who assisted with the National Community Reinvestment Coalition report, says the shift happened in waves.
And it's kind of a two-phase from the initial kind of displacement because of the Olympics and then the subsequent development in the 2000s with the Atlanta Beltline in particular.
The changes stretch beyond the Old Fourth Ward. From 1980 up until 2020, more than 22,000 black residents were displaced from 16 majority black neighborhoods across the city.
That question of black Mecca, black status, and black attainment is really on the chopping block here.
King says gentrification is complicated but can be managed. The city is working to expand affordable housing and create programs to help longtime residents stay in place as development continues. The goal, revitalization without displacement. For Reporting Atlanta, Jonathan Martin, 11 Alive News.
Today, city leaders celebrated a new chapter for Boulevard in the Old Fourth Ward. The City Lights development will replace aging Section 8 housing with modern subsidized units. 11 Alive's Grace King explains why they're focusing on affordable housing first.
It's another day with another ribbon cutting in Atlanta, but city leaders say this development is different.
They've been here for the last 45 years. It would be terrible to see them displaced.
The new complex will open to Section 8 residents of Bedford Pines first, ensuring they can stay in their community while their existing homes are redeveloped.
So that means development without displacement. Cypress 595 is the next chapter in the revitalization of the Bedford Pines community, a part of the Old Fourth Ward that holds a lot of history, a lot of culture, and a lot of pride.
Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens says Cypress 595 will bring 77 deeply affordable units for families earning less than 60% of the area median income. Much of that rent will be subsidized through vouchers and assistance programs.
That means working folks, city employees, and senior citizens and young families can find a quality home close to jobs, close to schools, amazing opportunities, the Beltline, and everything else. We're going to make sure that these people are able to thrive in this community.
In the Old Fourth Ward, Grace King, 11 Alive News.
The City Lights project will feature 7 different properties along Boulevard. The next phase is already under construction.
Good morning. Today is Friday. It is June 6th. The year is 2025. I've been MIA for a couple of days, maybe a few weeks. Who knows? Hell, I was in bed asleep. Need some rest over here. All right. So, wow, I saw this report on the news earlier this week about the Old Fourth Ward, and I used to live in the Old Fourth Ward, and I used to renovate and purchase and renovate homes in the Old Fourth Ward. I lived in the Old Fourth Ward in 1998. What a neighborhood it was. It was filthy, y'all. It was filthy. People would dump trash all up and down the street. They would burn up houses over there. Prostitutes, drugs, people would get shot and killed over there. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible place to live at that time in 1998. I had a house, amazingly, it was a brand new house I built over there. Me and Earl, that was when we first moved in together, it was in 1998 in the old 4th Ward. We had the house with a gated house with a swimming pool. In the old 4th Ward, people be like, what the fuck y'all doing over there? They didn't know luxury neighborhood. But look at the old 4th Ward now. What happened? How did all them rich white people end up in the old 4th Ward and all them poor niggas get pushed out of there? Or middle class black folks or whatever. There was a lot of black folks over there who lived there. It was all black. Well, nobody pushed anybody out. Black people decided to sell their homes and move somewhere else because the neighborhood was just so bad. That's what happened. There were organizations over there building brand new homes. Like I bought a brand new house, built a brand new house with a builder. I got a very good price on that house at that time. People thought I was insane for buying that new home over there in the old 4th Ward. They thought I was crazy as hell. At that time, the neighborhood was extremely rough. Nobody pushed anybody out. Black people gave those houses away because they didn't want to live there. They didn't see the future of what that neighborhood could be. Look at it now, it's gorgeous. I even sold my house. Should have set my ass over there. If I had sat in that house, I paid $335,000 for that house at that time in 1998, and it was appraised for $450 the day I purchased it. If I had sat in that house is probably worth now over $2 million. That was that's a long time to sit in that house. Of course, I had to do some renovations and everything. And people who have purchased that home since that time gutted the kitchen and renovated the house. The house was completely different than when I lived in there. There's only so much you can do to the floor plan, but they did change it. I've seen pictures online. The house is 577 Rankin Street. You can look it up. Old 4th Ward had an amazing opportunity, but we didn't want it. We just didn't want it. Niggas didn't want it. Black people didn't want it. They didn't want it. The neighborhood was too dirty. It was too filthy, too much trash. I'd rather live in new construction in Cascade. I'd rather live someplace else. I don't have to put up with this trash, this filth, this Section 8 housing that's still there. They still building new Section 8 housing. And that's what happened to the old 4th Ward. It went from a middle-class neighborhood that most of the homes were owned by black people, and it just deteriorated over the years to the point where it was just poor people living there. Or abandoned houses or burned up houses. The houses weren't worth very much. So when the revitalization of the old 4th Ward started in the late 90s and forward, a lot of black people just didn't see a vision for that neighborhood. Or, because there were homes that were geared towards African Americans and minorities. They had all types of organizations building houses, giving down payment assistance and all kinds of stuff to help you buy a house over there. I participated in that program too. But people didn't want to do that. When I show people homes in the old 4th Ward and say, hey, y'all, come here and look at this area. Y'all, this is a nice area. It's right downtown. I think y'all would like it. People say, oh, you out your fucking mind. They saw them heathens running around there, prostitution, drugs. Oh, they saw this stuff, and they were just like, what is going on here? People didn't have vision for that neighborhood. And so they abandoned and they left. People who had, like me, I bought a house, I stayed there for a few years, and I said, okay, enough. Drug dealing down the street, prostitute. It was horrible. Trash everywhere. I remember when I first moved into the old 4th Ward on Rankin Street, I would get a big dumpster delivered to the front of my house, parked across the street where this abandoned house was. And I'd hire these homeless people in the neighborhood to help me clean up the whole street. We fill a dumpster full of trash, pack it in their trash, all this stuff. Because people just dump their trash at these abandoned houses. And I lived over there. I hated it. The old mattresses, so we throw it all in the dumpster. They come pick it up. A week later, that shit was right back. I'd be like, oh, these niggas out here dumping stuff again. And it would just appear in the middle of the night. You wake up and say, oh, this trash is back. So after a while, you get tired of paying for $150 dumpsters, what it cost back then, for them to come out, pick the dumpster, pay the people out there, food, water, and, I put out food, drinks, water, to lure these people over there, help me put the trash in the dumpster. This went on and on, and I just gave up. I was like, this is exhausting. I couldn't win the battle because that was a big street, about a block, 2 blocks. You know, it's like, and we clean it up just for people to come back and like we cleared the spot for them. They didn't come back and put more trash. Oh, good. They didn't clear that stuff. We can go throw some more trash over there. Who just takes their old mattress, trash, everything and just dump it on the street? Niggas. You just take it and throw it out the street. Don't care in the world. I've never understood that. You can't take it to the dump. You can't put it in a trash can. Surely you passed 10 trash cans to get over here to Rankin Street or whatever street they was dumping trash in over there. And it was awful. It was awful. We gave that neighborhood away. We tore it up. We didn't want the houses. The new houses that were being built with the new programs to help you buy the house, nobody wanted them. They didn't want to participate. They didn't want to clean up. We gave it away. So it's no different. I keep reading these reports where these investors have purchased 30,000 houses in Atlanta. Well, who sold these houses to these? Who sold these 30,000 homes to these investors? We did. Yes, is your home for sale? Yeah, how much you gonna give me? What? You can have this damn house. We did. Black people did. Most of those 30,000 homes that they're talking about purchasing in the Atlanta area was sold by black people to these investors. This is how this took place. Years ago, and I would say in the mid 2000s, I always admired a house in Virginia Highlands. It's on Orme Circle, and I was like Orme, O-R-M-E Circle. And it hit the market for $550. I said, oh my God, that house, I always loved that house. He went on the market for $550. They had an open house. I walked through the house. It was a triplex. It was right near Piedmont Park. I said, oh my God, I'm gonna be right here near Piedmont Park. I'll finally be getting the house I really wanted. But it needed to be renovated. It needed some work. I gave them a full price offer of $550,000. Would you like to know what the white folks did? Stop the presses, honey. We not selling. We taking this off the market. But I just gave y'all a full price offer. Oh, it's no longer for sale. The seller has opted to say because they didn't want this nigga to get it. They took the house off the market. So, about a year later, I see they put it back on the market. Less than the $550. I said, oh, okay, it's even less. So once again, I crept over there, and his house was there. So what I should have done was got me somebody white to buy the house, because a year later, I wasn't really in the appetite to take on another house renovation project. But they took that house, they wouldn't sell it to me. So when these corporations were approaching these black folks in these black neighborhoods, talking about, we'll buy your house, we just saw the money. We didn't say, I don't think I want to sell you all. I'd rather sell it to a black family. See, we don't think like that. But white people do. They keep our asses out the neighborhood. I remember this crazy woman over here when I was trying to buy this house, old crazy real estate agent, how she was acting over here. And I told her, we don't need to buy this house. I said, we need to go someplace. This is a sign. We need to leave that damn house alone, because that woman was crazy. Oh, no, I want the house. We just got to get this house. And here I am stuck with this damn house. And Earl done going on to glory. But anyway, yeah, we gave these houses, these neighborhoods away. We, black people, have got to start being more strategic about the things that we do. Old Fourth Ward was a great opportunity to build a black middle class, upper middle class neighborhood in the inner city. We didn't want that though. We didn't want it. Nobody pushed nobody out. Them houses, you could have bought a house anywhere. They were giving the houses away back then. Nobody wanted them. The houses would sit there for months. So they ain't sold these houses. They can't find nobody to buy them houses. And even I was renovating houses, trying to get black people to come into the old Fourth Ward and buy. I couldn't sell them to black people. They were like, we don't want this. But white people purchased them. They purchased. I couldn't convince no black folks to buy. I called everybody I knew. I got this house I renovated. You want to see it? They didn't want nothing to do with it. Not just the old Fourth Ward. East Atlanta, East Lake, Kirkwood, Edgewood, Summerhill, Mechanicsville, all those neighborhoods we renovated houses in. The only people who bought those houses for me and Earl were white people. And that wasn't that we wanted. We would just clean them up and renovate them, but that's who only would buy them. Could black people afford those houses? Hell yeah, they could afford them. They didn't want those houses. They want a big, pretty, new Cascade. It's all Fulton. I remember this shit. Y'all ain't got to tell me nothing about black folks. They gave away. They pushed us out. No, they didn't. We gave it away. We gave it away. Well, anyway, it's going on 12 noon. I ain't had nothing to eat. I got some leftover tacos. I'm about to go ahead and eat. Went out to eat last. I'm about to eat this. I was going to cook breakfast. Fuck that shit. I'm going to put these leftover fajitas, rather, in this microwave and eat that, and that will be my lunch today. But anyway, I just wanted to do a video. I know I've been missing in action, but I saw that stuff, and it broke my heart because I was there. I was living in the old Fourth Ward. I was building and renovating houses down in those black neighborhoods. In those inner city neighborhoods, like I said, Summer Hill, Reynoldstown, Edgewood, East Lake, Kirkwood, those were areas that were predominantly black, and now they're predominantly white neighborhoods because we didn't want those old houses. We didn't want them. And we'd rather have this crap that they built in the burbs. We'd rather have that crap. Why? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I never understood. I was never a suburban type person. I did have a house in Lithonia one time. I stayed there 12 months and got the fuck about it. I said, I can't do this. Suburbs don't work for me. I'm kind of in the suburbs now, where I'm at now. A little bit older. I could tolerate this in, but back then I really couldn't tolerate the suburbs. This I can tolerate now because ain't no heathens running around here. Good. I just got some deer eating these peaches in my backyard. There's a lot more. But again, y'all, we have to be responsible for our actions. And I just think that when I hear these stories about people saying that we were forced out of neighborhoods, that we were dumping trash in, setting houses afire, shooting and killing each other, we wouldn't do right. We wouldn't do the right thing. And so eventually, even I got tired of the filth of the old dirty Fourth Ward, as we used to call it. The old dirty Fourth Ward. It was dirty. It was like, yuck. And look at it now. Look at it now. You'd be hard pressed to get a new construction for under $1 million over there. Yeah, close to $1 million, 1 point. I mean, I don't even look at the whole Fourth Ward. Now I have to go on Zillow and look to see how high that shit is. That shit is outrageous. I said, oh, Lord, it's up high $2 to $3 million. Go look. But no, what can we do? Anyway, today it is Friday, Friday, June 6th. We're not in January. I wish we were in January. I wish I would have had a time machine to go back to January. But today is Friday, this June 6th, the year is 2025, and I wanted to do a video today. I felt in the mood to get one done. And I'll be back to do some more. I'm working on it. Anyway, I'm out of here, and I'll speak to you all later. I'm out. Bye.